Can anybody stay here?
Sure, if we have the room.
I've got nowhere to go.
Pick any cot you like. And there's food on the stove. It's back in the kitchen. And the restroom is down the hall. Are you okay?
Fine.
Are you sick? Can I get you anything?
I'm not sick. I'm pregnant.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Pals Chat 2-year anniversary special. I am so glad to be here with all of our co-hosts. First, we have voice actress Heidi Tabbing, who is very accomplished, who did the English dub for the movie Sleep on Apple TV. Just hit her up. We'll put her link in the show notes. We have singer of our beloved hit song, lyricist and singer of our beloved hit song, Wouldn't It Be Nice? Lady Rand.
Hello.
We have content creator, improv specialist, Sadie from Hades herself, Sadie Teal.
What's up?
We have Ashley Jones.
Hiya.
And we have Sweetness.
Greetings and salutations, everyone.
All right. So, Heidi, what have you been into this week?
Oh boy. Okay, so I am working on the second audiobook for the second All My Children novel. It's mostly Erica's. I'm about 2/3 through it right now. I'm curious how far you guys have listened to that, because I know in one of my bloopers it was like I said murdered instead of murmured, and now in the second book there was murder, so it's more fitting. Also, fun stuff. I started working on my own audiobook and I finished the first 2 books already. It's called The Cycle of the 6 Moons. You can find it in your library, so you don't actually have to put money for it. It's in the Hoopla and Libby apps. If those are available in your library, you might still have to request it through your library.
Hey now, congratulations. Hey, yeah.
Yes, Heidi is also an author, so that's
writing
awesome.
under a different name, but narrating it under mine. Weird stuff, but yeah, it is a young adult fantasy trilogy, and I'm having so much fun with it. I have so much fun that I hurt myself editing.
Uh-oh.
So I need to take it easy.
It's like a carpal tunnel, not like your computer fell on you.
Yeah. My wrists and hands were sore for a good week.
I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
All right. Lady, what have you been into?
Watching documentaries. I think I just most recently watched The Cult of the Real Housewife on HBO Max.
You did what?
I don't even watch the Housewives shows, but that doc was good.
What?
Yeah.
What was it about?
Oh my gosh.
Mary Cosby is from, I guess she's from Salt Lake City.
Gosh.
And apparently running a cult. Yep, and married to her step-grandfather. It's a whole thing. Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
But was it good? Wait, but quick, was it good though? Is it worth watching?
It was good.
Okay.
If you have listened to any other Lady episode of the podcast, she is always talking about both documentaries and cults.
Got it. Okay.
I don't know how I fell into that sector, but
I'm hoping it's research to start your own. That's what I'm rooting for. Sadie Teal, what have you been into?
I'll just keep it brief. I've been playing some adventure games lately. We just wrapped up playing a game called The Drifter, which was really great. It was a story about this houseless man visiting his old town for a funeral, but it played with some sci-fi tropes of time. It's really interesting. You should play it. And then I just started Sally Face, which is another kind of point and click adventure puzzle game, and it looks beautiful. It looks like it's illustrated, and the music's really great. So yeah, that's the thing I've been looking at this week.
Oh, that's
out of the loop. What do you play adventure games on?
So this one is just on the laptop, so it's through Steam, and there's a whole big list. I know because you like Monkey Island a lot.
Yes.
And I know that's one of the classic adventure games I need to go back and play. But yeah, Mark has a whole list of really great adventure games. I'll send you a list because they look amazing.
I'm not sure if I have enough space on my laptop, but I would love to take a look.
But these ones are like
watch you play these games.
Yeah, these ones aren't like too intense on like graphics cards, but they're very cleverly written and really pretty indie games. So I think you'd like them.
Nice.
Ashley Jones, what are you into?
Well, if anybody listens to my co-hosting, I'm always talking about Grey's Anatomy. Unfortunately, the season I'm on right now is dealing with the pandemic, and it's a
Having a
little
flashback.
too soon for me. Like I'm really struggling with a lot of emotions, especially
We've had a rough pandemic too. I was
yeah, it's way too long for this podcast, but I was effectively homeless at one point. It's all good now. And then I'm really into these Olivia Dodd novels. She writes many different types of books. I read one that's about zombies, but they're primarily romance, a lot of drama, and all of her female protagonists are sort of heavier set women. Like they're full figured women, and it's very body positive and it's really cool. So I really like this author. I'm on my third book by her.
Nice.
So that's awesome. Sweetness, what have you been into?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let me say this. Y'all know I life, right? So I'm lifing right now, and I am on a date. And guess where we are?
Movie theater.
We are at the laundromat.
Laundromat.
See, I am knocking out two birds with one stone. Okay.
Nice.
I mean, three birds, because you're on a date, you're doing a podcast, you're at the laundromat.
Say that, okay? Yeah, so I am incorporating my
Efficiency
life
is
right
sweetness.
now. Yes, and it's good, like, because we were in agreement with this, right? With this part of the day, because we both have to get things in order on a Saturday, so it just worked all out, and it's amazing. And the laundromat that we picked is nice and clean. I didn't pick it; he did, so it's amazing. So look, no complaints. So yes, life is good right now. It's amazing. So thanks for tapping in and checking in. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I have so many questions about this date, but I'll wait till we're offline. So anyway, this week a show called The Beauty premiered, and it's a TV show, and everyone's like, oh, it's The Substance, but a TV show. And I'm thinking, yeah, it kind of is mostly like that, except they're taking a different view of it than just from the perspective of women who have been mistreated and have body issues due to society and the patriarchy, and are looking at it from a few different angles, which I guess is why it's a series, but it's interesting so far, so we'll see. We are so thrilled to have PC Warner, who played Kelsey Jefferson, doing an interview for our 2-year anniversary special. We had the wonderful Carrie Gonzalez, who played Sky Chandler, do our 1-year anniversary. Now we have PC Warner. And so Kelsey had a lot of storylines. She was Joe and Ruth's grandchild, who's been on the show since the beginning. She gave her baby to Edmund and Maria, a super couple. She was a weather girl working at the news station, getting into love traps with various people. She was in love with a gay man who she thought would change. He did not, spoiler. But, it was a good time. And we're going to look at her acting from a point in time where she has given Edmund and Maria her baby. But she has feelings for Edmund.
There's a lot of giving away of babies in this series.
There surely is. But then her thing is, while she's getting to know this family, to give away their baby, she gets a crush on the husband, Edmund. And she's like, Edmund, I want to be with you. And Edmund's
wait a minute, as a teenager?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's Edmund's response to Edmund's like,
no.
You are a literal child.
You're a child.
So no.
Yeah, no.
Also, I'm happily married to my wife.
Yeah, we're
what
not
are you
doing that today. No.
It doesn't really go great. So she decides to take the baby back to punish him. And that's the scene we're gonna be watching.
Red mockingbird, don't sing. Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. And if the diamond ring. Ah, the cavalry get out now. You can see it's perfectly okay.
The jig is up.
Would you be quiet? You can wake them up.
Kelsey, go quietly or I'll call the police.
Would you show them the order?
On the count of 5, I'm not bluffing. 1, 2...
It's all right, bro. I'll handle this.
Just go away and leave me alone.
Shut up.
You shouldn't have done that. I have every right to be here.
We both know this is not about Sam. This is about you and me.
So now what are you, a shrink?
You needed something. You wanted something desperately, and you thought you could get it from me.
Grow up.
I have. It's a painful process. Kelsey, disappointment is hard to take. And right now, I am taking the rap for an absentee dad and a boy who didn't care.
So, write it up, print it out. Pop's like dad. Or better yet, why don't you start a self-help group for dads who can't have kids?
Okay. That's all right, let me have it. I can take your hate. It's okay, but I'll tell you one thing. You can't raise a kid on hate, Kaylee.
I love my son!
You're just getting back of the world through me.
You're not the center of the universe.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. In the grand scheme of things, I am nothing.
You're...
I am not important. Your choices are. You have your whole future ahead of you, Kelsey.
And you have your future, so quit fixating on a son that's not even yours.
We'll go to the mat on this one.
You're not going to win.
Well, if we lose, so do you and Sam. You lose your one chance for a happy life, and Sam loses the only parents he's ever had.
You're right. There are a bunch of men that are soulless jerks, especially you. Prince Charming may be a scam, and love may be just a joke. Motherhood is as real as it gets. You may have your mansion, your wife, your Pulitzer, and I may have zilch. But somebody is going to love me in this world. And that somebody is my own kid.
But we just wanted to celebrate her wonderful acting and thank her so much for giving us an interview. That's so nice.
Bravo.
Woohoo!
All right, we want to thank T.C. Warner, Kelsey Jefferson herself for joining us today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing better. I'm doing better. Just getting over bronchitis and allergies and all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's all good.
That sounds tough.
It's all good.
All right. So I heard you got started acting after seeing a performance of Annie. Was your intention for you to be a theater actress rather than on screen, or were you just open to anything?
I was open to anything. I really, I call the stage my play space because I saw the character Annie having so much fun on the stage, and I knew I wanted to just be there. And so the stage and in front of the camera has always been my playground, and that's where I like to play.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. So how did you get started in the industry?
Well, in the industry, I did a lot of background acting when I was younger. I did like, I think there was a reunion of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and then there was a bunch of Westerns that would come to Santa Fe, and my mom would help get me in as I just loved being on the set and watching all of the rhythm. And that's really how I got started. I just started doing it. And then there was an audition for Silverado, and Thomas Wilson Brown was also in this movie with me. I played Carol, and that was a Lawrence Kasdan film. And I was a little adventurous. My friend had said that she needed to get a ride down to the Hilton where they were holding the auditions. And so I said, well, maybe I can borrow my mom's car, even though I wasn't licensed. And I'll just sneak you down there. And I took her down there, and I was sitting there, and Sherry Rhodes had seen me and said, would you like to audition? Well, I'd only done the background acting and, doing school plays, that kind of thing. And so I said, I have no idea what that entails. And I ended up landing that role. So it was, I had good intentions, but a little sneaky. Yeah. So that's how I got my start. And I've loved it ever since. And I still love it. Bit by the bug, and the bug won't leave.
And we're all better for it. How did you get cast on All My Children?
So I auditioned for it, and
was Kelsey the role you auditioned for?
Yes.
Oh,
and there's quite a few actresses that were auditioning for that, and I loved it because I got to go audition in sweats and no makeup and all that for a soap opera. I was like, yeah, I'm not, I'm not going to get this part. I'm not going to get this part. But I had fun with it. And I think that's what really brought the character to life, was inputting what, Lorraine Broderick had put into all of the writing, all the great writers of All My Children. I mean, they're just so incredible. They really wrote, it was easy to do because it was so well written. And when you're an actor and you don't have to worry about the makeup and the this and the that and the this and that, you just throw your sweats on and just be yourself and go on stage. I mean, I think I wore those green pair of sweats for 2 weeks straight. And that was not my view of what it was like to be in a soap opera. I never envisioned myself in a soap opera. But then again, I mean, I never envisioned myself as like Bud's first girlfriend on Married with Children, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't build an expectation. I just put all of me into it and focused on the fun of the craft. And I think they saw that, and I kept that. And that was it. I was so blessed to have landed that role. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better, any better training ground, any better people, any better guidance, any better directors, writers, actors. I mean, the whole pool of people that have been on All My Children that I've been blessed to work with and under has been a memory that you just will never be able to erase.
That's so wonderful.
It is.
So I know you kind of grew up without a television or not watching TV that much. Did you have any sense that you were joining the Martin family of All My Children, or the big force that was driving the show for the first 25 years before you joined?
No, they kept a lot of the story of who this character was kind of under wraps, and for their own reasons. So I didn't really know the totality or the impact of that character and what it did in the through line of the three major families on All My Children. When I did find out, I was even more honored. And this was one of the opportunities that to play. And what's funny is I just got off with the phone with Karen Lynn Gorney, and I was asking her if she would be able to jump in to say hi or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And just being able to keep in touch with some of the people that are the cornerstones of All My Children is so important to me. I keep in touch with Francesca James through social media and stuff like that. She's so wonderful. And there's just such an impact of how strong Agnes Nixon kept All My Children and the flow and the continuity and the storylines. And this character was the first grandchild of the Martin family, right?
Mhm.
And I got to play her,
Mhm.
and I got to be her. And I didn't see anybody coming in to replace me, and I didn't die and come back, but I did go off apparently to become a weather girl.
Well, greener pastures, but
Right.
you definitely made an impact. And as a fan, it's so wonderful to hear how much it meant to you as well. You also mentioned Lorraine Broderick, who I saw you did an interview with her, I think a few years ago on your Instagram. That was fantastic as well. One of the great writers of the show. So, what were your first days on the show like? I know it might seem vague now, but do you remember the feeling of being on the set for the first time?
Yes, I do. I remember it felt like a lightning bolt. It was that fast. And I didn't realize I'd come from making, films and TV movies and TV shows and episodics, and they'll do take after take after take, and this was the, one take, Charlie, gone. Unless you said a swear word, they didn't have to. Okay. And I thought they can't be that happy. I'm usually given some direction, or maybe they want an option or a change or something. They said, great, moving on. All the cameras went to the next stage. And I went, okay, what am I supposed to do? Because this is usually lasting a lot longer. And they were like, you're done. You can go down to your dressing room and do whatever. So I was really shocked at how quickly they have mastered this machine of being able to put out such a great product with such impact and a great storyline that holds all of it together. I mean, it was pretty incredible to see how they piece it together. It was just so fast. So you had to really come prepared. I mean, there was 40 pages a day that I was memorizing, and that's hard. It's not like 40 pages of single line, but I mean, this is dialogue, right? And this is a script. And 40 pages of dialogue a day is very hard. So it honed my memory into being able to memorize lines and changes really quickly, just really, really fast.
Fantastic. It was really a large growth very quickly.
It was, and it was a good test. I think I described it in one article as it was like having my Pampers yanked off. You got to just go and do it right the first time. Not, can we redo that? I didn't like, no, that's not your decision. And they're moving on. So.
Yeah, 3 years is a long time to play any character, but on soap operas, you're on multiple times a week for every week of the year, it feels like. So yeah, I could see how you could become very attached to a character. What's your favorite part about Kelsey Jefferson?
I think the vulnerability of her. She was very headstrong and yet vulnerable at the same time. So I think that that the writers would see that she was just so desperate to be in love. And it got to the point where I said, is Kelsey going to fall in love with a tree next? And just her level of passion and vulnerability opened up the storyline to a lot of different types of personal conflicts that come in. You see the internal turmoil going on inside of the character's mind. And so that's a lot of fun to play with, but you have to be, as an actor, you have to be willing to go there. And I was very willing and still always am. I think that's part of the aspect of acting where, like I said, the stage is my playground, and that's the safe space where I can be and do whatever the character is, and it's safe. There is no wrong, as long as you're obviously following the recipe, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that the way that the character was written, it was written so well that it gave me so much to play with, that it made it identifiable and relatable to everybody in the audience. So a lot of the viewers could understand and see where her situation was of, she's young, she had a baby. The boy didn't even remember the night that the conception happened, that kind of thing. And there she is with this situation of a beautiful baby, but she's not emotionally or mentally capable of being a mom, but she thinks she is because of what maybe she's read in books or believes, right? And the little manipulations that she would try, and then obviously they wouldn't work. So, and have the baby, give it up, take it back, give it up, that kind of thing, was really a very strong story at that time, because there are situations like that do happen in real life. And even if it wasn't happening to any viewer, they could still relate to it, because they can imagine that this is a possibility that happens. And here you have a little headstrong, teenager that's trying to claim her independence, fall in love, and have the white picket fence and all of that stuff, and she's not ready.
Yeah, that was such a socially relevant story that I think Lorraine Broderick and Agnes Nixon were both known for. Of it does happen, it still happens, and to have it shown through, well, an actress as capable as you, but from a member of the Martin family as well, I think grounded it so much and made it so important.
I agree.
That's definitely the storyline I think of when I think of Kelsey, the first one that comes to mind.
I want my baby back.
And we have the clip of when you take Sam back that will feature in this episode with your interview. And it is coming from such a place of vulnerability and such a great performance by you, but saying, like, my parents don't love me. Edmund, you don't love me. This baby is going to love me. And it's just come from such a real place and fantastically performed by you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Kelsey was definitely looking for love. I mean, anywhere. We all are, aren't we? But there's a point in our lives where we're really seeking it, and we can all identify with that, and how we go about obtaining it in all the wrong ways, right?
And it's nice the character got to leave the show on such a high, even though it is sad that you left, that she was in a good place when she left,
Exactly.
Do you have a favorite on-screen moment or storyline?
I have some funny memories that there was the Ally McBeal, and then there was the Kelsey McBeal thing with Jenny Cosgrove. There were a lot of memorable moments where they would play the imagination that happens inside of Kelsey's mind. Those were so much fun to film. And then I also remember when the younger cast were stuck in a cabin, I was dared to do the dance of the seven veils. And being an actress, you don't stop, you don't cut until the director says cut. You keep going no matter what. And I was doing the dance of the seven veils and this and that and the other, and I fell off the bed. And I got back up, and I waited to hear the director say cut, and he didn't say cut. So I kept doing it, and I kept climbing back on the bed. And all of them were lying in the bed, and there was Esther, Cameron, and Danny, and they were lying in the bed, and they were laughing so hard they had tears coming out of their eyes, and I had to hold like a serious face, and I was like, I'm gonna kill you guys. I'm gonna kill you guys. And they're all in ski jackets, and everybody's under these hot lights, and so a lot of fun times, fun memories, and just really great, humble people, all doing the same thing, loving their job and loving their situation and having fun doing it. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better job. That's a vocation, a vacation that became a vocation, right?
Yeah.
So
the Kelsey character was very involved in Kevin's storyline of coming out of the closet. Do you remember any fan reaction or to that storyline?
Fan reaction was really great. I mean, I don't know. I grew up in San Francisco and Santa Fe. I was born in San Francisco, raised in Santa Fe. And there's the gay population. I didn't know any different. They were just everywhere, right? They were all my friends growing up. So it wasn't anything that had, shook me or altered me. I mean, they're all my very close friends, and some of them are my family members and so forth. So when it came to the gay storyline, it didn't faze me that the audience might have any type of a reaction, because it was such a norm for me. And what I was surprised to see is a lot of the gay population would come out and thank me and say, thank you for giving recognition to this. This kind of a story really needs to be told. And they were so appreciative, and that to me was a level of gratitude that I went, yeah, again, these writers are just knocking it out of the ballpark here with their content. And it would open up conversations in places with people that I would never expect, complete strangers walking up and with their significant other or partner and saying, you are really showing a true side of what it's like. Because remember that Kelsey loved Kevin. And I know that Ben Jorgensen did a really great job in playing this role. He had his own personal quirks, and that made that character very, very interesting. So it put a colorful character on the role of Kevin. For Kelsey, she bonded with him because of her level of vulnerability, and there was a connection with him, and he tried, right? Because he had a connection with her. And it's the truth about how life works. It's either there and you love the person you're with, whoever they're with, whoever that person is, that person is male or female or whatever. It has nothing to do with carrying a label around. It doesn't solidify you. So it was a good demonstration on that at that point in my life, I was already very well aware of, but I didn't understand that not that many people were.
Mm-hmm. It's so wonderful someone with your outlook was a part of that storyline. Is there anything you would have done differently with the Kelsey character in your 3 years? Or if something could have been changed in the writing, but I know you're very fond of the writing. I was just throwing it out there.
No, I think if I could have done anything different, I mean, there was a lot of circumstances where there was times when the snow was so bad in New York City that some of the actors couldn't come in, and I live very close to the studio, so they said, come on in, you've learned to memorize, so now here's 3 scripts, so that would be about 120 pages, and it so no, there's nothing that I would have done differently with the character or the writing. I mean, the writing was just, why would you change that?
Yeah.
Right. And No, there's nothing that I would have done differently, I don't think. Why, do you think I should have done something different?
No,
Okay.
I think it would have been nice to see Kelsey find love finally after the years of
Right?
struggling. But that's the only thing I would change. The writing was very strong. Kelly Ripa has said recently that there's a possibility that Lifetime All My Children movies would be in production. How do you feel about that? Would you come back for that as Kelsey?
Absolutely. 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 Yeah. I hope she does do it. I will, I don't know, burn candles or something. Say a prayer. Tell Kelly, get it going.
And it really is nice, the sense of community that you guys have from that time that you guys were all on the show, that she still loves it and she's still trying to bring it back.
It's part of her life. It was a majority of her life, you know? It really was.
I saw that Aaron Neville was your favorite celebrity cameo. Is that right?
Yeah, I love his music. He's just so talented, you know. And then we got Rosie O'Donnell. We got, I mean, how many other celebrities did we get on there? We got so many.
So many, honestly,
Yeah.
so many. Going through it now. Yeah, so many. What advice would you give to soap actors now? Because I think it's such a specific, different than the other acting that you do. What would you give advice to soap actors about?
Get into a routine, learn how to memorize, and stay on point and stay focused. Because there's no time to hiccup or stub your toe. And if you stub your toe, keep on going.
This is indulgent just for me personally, but I love your Hobby Lobby story. Can
Jack,
you please share it?
Okay. Okay, so you know Hobby Lobby is like they're very religious, right? And they're very okay. So I'm in Hobby Lobby, and I hear this, oh hey, TC, and I looked around, and it was like I felt like I was in New York City, but I wasn't, because there was Jack Millard, right? And I went, hey, and he comes up to the register, and I'm with my daughter, who's at that point, she might have been what, 10? Yeah, anyway, he comes up and he says, I look at him and I go, you're, and he said, yeah, I'm Eric, what, no, I'm Julia's rapist or something. And I went, oh my gosh, yes. And he said, you gave your baby up and took it back. And I went, yes. And oh my God, that's so great to see you. And we hugged each other, and my daughter's looking up going, what's going on? And I said, you know, what's funny is this is my daughter, and we're open about the adoption. And I said, this is my daughter. We adopted her, and we adopted her, a boy. So we adopted a boy and a girl. And he's like, oh my gosh, how funny. So you gave a baby up, took it back, gave it up, took it back, gave it up. And here you are with 2 more. And I went, yeah. Anyway, so, and everybody, I looked around and I realized we're in Hobby Lobby, right? These people are looking at us like, do I call the cops? Okay, she gave a baby up, she took it back, he raped somebody. Yeah, okay, what's going on? And I was like, oh, let's exchange numbers. Come on, let's stay in touch. No. And we stayed in touch. And he did the Boats of Hope, and we went and supported him on that and helped put some, I don't know if you know what Boats of Hope are.
I'm not familiar now.
So his wife had passed away on suddenly, a horrible accident, and she had cancer at the time, but the cancer wasn't the end factor. So what he did was he started spreading these moments of hope for people. And there were the little boats that he would make out of almond shells and little bottles, and, you know, and they would have a little message in them. and he would put them all over in different places in Arizona and New York and all over in little ponds and puddles and in the beach, and he would try in lakes and stuff like this. And people would pick them up, and it was meant to give whoever needed that little bit of hope. They could pick it up and it's theirs to keep. And they open it up and get a message. Well, why are you getting this message? Apparently the message needs to be shared with that person, whoever picked it up, right? There's a big bridge in New Mexico called the Taos Gorge. And there have been, not that they've been public about this, but there's been a notable amount of people who end up taking their life by jumping off the bridge. What he did was he made all of these little boats of hope and tied them all around the rims of the railway across the gorge. And I pulled the news crew up there, and we went up on, I think it was New Year's Eve, to celebrate, start a new year with a new hope. And here's what we've done. So if anybody's needing a bit of hope, come by the bridge and grab your bit of hope. It started with Hobby Lobby and the comedy scene that people probably still look at me weird, like that's the girl that, and we've stayed in touch, and he's still doing great. And yeah, so that's what Hobby Lobby turned into hope.
That is an absolutely beautiful idea. I encourage all our listeners to go and participate in that. I'd like to participate in that. That's absolutely wonderful.
I'll send you some links afterwards.
All right. We'll also put them in the show notes of this episode so that fans can get involved.
Perfect.
What is your favorite non-All My Children project that you've worked on?
Non-All My Children project that I worked on. I mean, all projects have their ups and downs, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is my favorite
Mm-hmm.
non-All My Children? I think it is Snide and Prejudice, where I got to play Tessa Percival, Arment, where she sneaks into the insane asylum to, this is with Angus McFadden and so forth. And because she got to play a couple different roles, and then she tries to sneak out of the place, claiming she was only going in as a journalist to try and capture, playing Ava Braun, singing When Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. Anyway, so there was a whole bunch of different roles that she got to play, or I got to play as Tessa, who is Ava, who is the journalist. That was probably one of my favorite. Let's see, what other ones? We're working on Salvador Dali now, and that's with Philippe Mora. And I don't know. I mean, I think I have a lot of favorites. I love film because it's really, you're really in the depths of working in the craft in so many ways. I don't like film because it's so slow. I love working in daytime because it's so fast. You get the story, you get to do it, and you feel like you've accomplished something. You know what I mean? Like film, the day ends and you still have so much more work to do. In daytime, you do it, you're done, move on. And I love that sense of completion. And I love working in a fast pace, because a lot of times when I'm left with my own thoughts or too much time, I make things more messy than they need to be. Whereas in daytime, they're asking for the vulnerability. It's there, just give it, don't question. Right. Mm-hmm. So it makes it a little bit easier for me, puts you in a space of feeling vulnerable, right? Because you kind of feel a little bit nervous of, am I doing this right or wrong? Or is this what they want? That kind of thing. But I love that they that they move so quickly. And I jumped in and felt like, you know how Alfred Hitchcock called actors cattle, herd the cattle in? That's what I felt like. It was just this eye-opening thing of, usually on films, they're, you know, can we get so and so to the set, and you know, okay, and somebody comes and gets you out of your trailer and takes you over there, and you got the makeup person. This is Kelsey on set. You're running up the stairs. Where am I? I'm here. Okay, all right, we did this blocking. Okay. So it's very different. It's very fast paced, and I like that because my energy is a little higher than making me sit.
All right. You mentioned the Dolly Project. Is there anything else that you're working on now that you'd like fans to check out?
Oh, just to know about, not necessarily to check out. I'm doing a documentary on my uncle, who is Charlie Pete, and I can send you more information on that. We're completing the biography of it. I mean, the stories that he has, you can't make up. He built his planes, flew them, crashed them. He traveled around the world with his wife, my godmother, in the Santana, the Humphrey Bogart ship. It's just, the stories are so incredible. He unfortunately recently passed away, and they live in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. But so every year we go there and so forth. But his stories need to be told, and he had so many TV and film and, you know, well-known writers that were asking to tell his story, and you know, he would shy away, and they would tell him, well, you need to write your own story, or you need to tell your story. And he would kind of shy away, and he was such a great storyteller. I finally walked up to him. I go, Uncle Charlie, I'm telling your story. And he said, okay, TC, you can do it. So that's what I've been piecing together in the midst of raising two kids and doing all this stuff. And writing, of course, just writing on some screenplays. I have a pile of those going on. So that's all I'm doing.
That's all you're doing. All of that. That's incredible. My last question, is there a charity you'd like to shout out?
The Animal Humane Society. Big supporter on that, and saving the animals that need saving and keeping them alive. No kill shelters.
Yes, that is all right. TC, we're at the end. So is there anything you'd like to share, or are you good?
No, I think that I think when I was talking to Lisa with all my promotions, she said, be ready to ask, if you were asked to come back to daytime, what would your answer be? And my answer would be absolutely, in a heartbeat. I love it and will always love it.
That's a wonderful one. You got General Hospital, I think, is the last ABC show to bring back Kelsey, but I mean, there's still 5. Beyond the Gates just premiered. Katie McLean is on it, and
I know, and I would come back in a heartbeat.
I'd love for that to happen. So,
well, thank you.
To see you on our screens again, that would be wonderful. All right, that's it. Thank you so much, TC. Trouble's coming, Warner.
Trouble coming.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa, from All My Promotions, for setting up this interview. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed our interview with TC Warner. Coming up next is our interview with Chris McGinn, who played Irma on All My Children. We'll show a quick clip and then get into the interview.
Hey, Irma! Irma, do me a favor, grab the phone! Would you excuse me, Mrs. Summers? Sure, I'm in no hurry. Glamorama.
Hi, this is Edna Ferguson. I wondered, is Ted Martin going to be working there today?
No, ma'am, he's got the whole day off.
Hello, everybody. We are here with Chris McGinn, who played Irma on All My Children. Chris, what made you want to act?
What made me want to act? Oh, wow. Well, I I always was, even in grade school, I sang and I acted and I did kind of a mix of everything. And to be honest, in high school as well, when I went to college, I went to a teaching college and I thought, oh, I'm going to major in, theater and music. And then they said you have to choose because you had to either get a music major or a theater major, and there were different courses attached. And I was like, oh no, I'm not singing opera and I'm not I'm meant to be a music person. So I majored in theater in college. And that got me into all the different pieces of it and arts of it and the education aspect of teaching it. And that's kind of what got me into it all. And I always wanted to like be at the awards shows and when I was a kid and all those things I think that you think about when you hear people, accept their award.
Right.
So that was me. I was from St. Louis sitting there and watching thinking, "Oh gosh, that looks like so much fun." So that's me.
That's awesome to have such joy in what you do.
Thanks. I do. I love doing it. I don't always love the business of the business, but that's a whole other topic.
Well, how did you get into the business?
Um, when I came to New York, as I was saying, there were uh, two friends and I moved to New York a week after I graduated college with two other friends, and we rented a Ryder truck and threw everything in the back, and we came to New York. And we had a fourth friend who lived here already and went to FIT, and he's like, well, I'll get you an apartment. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to come and I'm going to, teach acting while I check out the business. And it was not that easy to teach in New York. You have to get recommendations and things, and people that didn't really know me yet. So I started because I guess also because of my college education, I volunteered to be stage manager on a play by Mark Medoff. And I had done a play in college. I'd played the lead in a play of his called When You Come Back, Red Ryder. And so then I read this thing in backstage. They needed a stage manager, and it was an original play of his. And I went to the theater that was the Jewish Y on 14th Street, and they hired me, and I got into the business through that. And I had a couple friends who I knew from my summer stock college days, and they recommended me to agents. And that's kind of how it all I was happy to do anything, which leads to how I got onto All My Children in the same way, because my degree, at the time, they didn't teach film classes. We directed plays and we were in plays, but there wasn't really a film class because even though TV was considered kind of a separate thing back when I was a kid about 80 years ago. And so I just was like, I need to be in front of a camera. I need to know what I look like. I need to know how it works. So I just started looking for, extra work and things like that while I was auditioning to try to be in front of a camera, see myself, and get used to what I look like and learn about that aspect of the business.
Awesome. I saw that you had quite a few credits, like sort of stage managing, production, assistant directing. So it sounds like you prefer to be in front of the camera, but is that true? Is it better to be in front or behind?
If I won Lotto, the first thing I would do was invest in a theater company. Because I love the whole production aspect of it. I would love to be a director in film. It's kind of hard to cross over into that. I think I don't do I think I love acting more. And I think that's also because I don't get to do it every day, so I want to do more of it. I'd like to have more opportunities that way. But I really do love the process. And when I'm on a set, I find myself not staying in my trailer, but wanting to be more looking around and watching, who's doing what and how things are being done. And so I think I'm kind of in the mix with that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thanks.
What do you remember about the All My Children set and being on that set?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have a very funny story that I thought of when we were talking about this. I started, just so you know, like I said, I started as an extra, and then I went to Joan Dincheco, who was the casting woman, and because her office was right upstairs from the studios where we would film. And I went up and said, I would love to, speak in Pine Valley. And she said, well, let's see what we can do. And so they gave me a couple, what you call under fives, which means under 5 lines at the time. And one was, I don't even remember, but the second one was as a customer in the Glamorama. And at the time, it was, Dorothy Lyman playing Opal and a woman now, well, obviously, her name is Barbara Hoyman at the time, who happened to be my roommate, which they did not know. And I played a customer. And so what ended up happening was, I don't even remember, a couple months later, Jackie Babin, who was the producer of the show, called me. And I was like, hi, what's going on? And she said, how would you like to be in the Glamorama and work, as one of the employees? And she said, you would be partnering with the other girl who plays Ethel. And I said, well, she happens to be my roommate in real life. She's like, oh, I knew you were a pair. And so I said, yes. And that was how it came to be. And so the funny story I was going to tell you was I was doing nails in the scene, and Ruth Warwick, the late great Ruth Warwick, was my customer. So I was supposed to be doing her nails. And in the scene and on the set were David Canary and Michael Knight, who were kind of walking around for other sets and whatever, and they were watching us. And Ruth came in and she sat down and she handed me all her polishes. And I smiled and said, hi, I'm Chris. And she said, this is what you're going to use. And I said, well, you realize we're just acting. Oh, no, you're giving me a manicure. And the two of them, David Canary and Michael Knight, were standing there and they were just smiling and laughing and shaking their head. And she said, now, I hope you're good at this because, I have to go out tonight and my nails better look good. And she did this whole, and I was so scared because obviously I was playing Irma, in the Glamorama, who was a manicurist, but I was not really a manicurist. And so I'm sitting there and we do rehearsal. And I said, well, we have rehearsal and then, we, have a dress rehearsal and then we tape. She said, well, you just keep doing it throughout the day and then I'll have a manicure by the time we're done. And so after the first rehearsal, when I had started the process, she went away and she said, you're doing okay so far. And she walked away. And the two of them came over and said, aren't you happy you got this scene today? And it was so funny because for all the acting that you do, she literally, took it that I was her manicurist for the day and I had to give her a good manicure. And I wanted to say, "Are you going to tip and pay me at the end?" But I didn't do that.
Was that your favorite on-screen moment as well, or is there another point that you liked for yourself in that character?
Um, to be honest, I mean, I love being in the Glamorama. What I really loved doing was going once Ethel, Barbara and I graduated, we got to go to like the showers in the weddings and the funerals. And they set the Glamorama on fire. So I was really into, as much as I love working in the Glamorama and it was fun, it was really great when they decided that we were going to be guests at like Dixie's shower when she was marrying, Tad. And so there was stuff like that that I think the whole thing is a great, like I said, I just have such great memories of the whole thing. But that those going to those special events was like, oh, we've been chosen, we get to go cry at the funeral or whatever. So that was really fun.
You worked with a lot of great actors on the show. We have a clip that we're going to feature with your interview that has Ruth Warwick and Susan Lucci in it.
That's funny.
Is there a actor you didn't get to work with that you would have liked to work with more?
Well, an interesting story was it had been like a year or so. Dorothy Lyman was gone, and it was Joe Larson playing Opal, and we hadn't been there for a while. Barbara, I think, had been there maybe once, and I'd been there once, but we hadn't been on the show, and they booked us both to be on. And we're in hair and makeup, and we see this couple on the beach laying on top of each other, which is Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos. And it was their first time starting to work together. And Barbara and I and everybody in hair and makeup were like, oh my God, those two. And they said, yeah, they just met. And we were all like, look at the two of them. And it's so funny because then as time, like I say, went on, obviously we know they're, happily married, etc. And I thought, ah, darn, I wish I would have been there more to, watch it unfold. But it was kind of cool to be there that first day and watch them and have everybody saying, oh yeah, these two, something's going to happen. And then sure enough, it happened. But yeah, I was there. I felt very blessed because once you were on the show for us, they kind of found a way to put everybody in there at some point. So I felt really, really cool about, they had Tad work there for a bit. Michael Knight was in there, and all the different people got to come in, and even like when Susan Lucci come get her hair done, or Ruth Warwick. So it was really great to be able to connect with everybody there.
Which character did you relate the most to?
Oh, of my other credits?
Of your of any of your credits, if Irma was the one.
Well, Irma, I felt like was kind of the typecasting of me, that's why they picked me because they thought, Barbara was, thin and had glasses and I was tall and big. And so we made this great little like Mutt and Jeff kind of coupling thing. Mm. And so I feel like that was ironically doing Kidnap, the movie I did with Halle Berry. Obviously I'm not a kidnapper. I play a bad guy in the movie, but it was very close to me in the sense that like some of the scenes were very much about being this nice person and, pretending with this little boy so that we could, woo him, I could woo him in and stuff like that. And so it felt very familiar to me. Even though I'm not a bad guy, it felt comfortable doing that kind of part. So I really had fun kind of going for it with the shotgun and the killer dog and the whole 9 yards because I knew that wasn't what I was like. You know what I mean? As far as
Yeah.
most like me, well, I don't know. Maybe Silence of the Lambs because I was lying there dead and couldn't say anything. But I I know. That's a good question in the sense that working on Jessica Jones, the Marvel's Jessica Jones, I was the bartender and they had hired me as the bartender. And then what happened was the next season, they wrote to my manager and said, "Do you think she would come back and run the bar?" It's like, "No, of course not. She's not interested." It's like, "Yeah, of course, she'd love to." So I got to come back and then I got to do, a few more episodes and they wrote me stuff with her and I got to be, kind of the, bitchy, give her a hard time thing. And that's more my wheelhouse. I mean, I, I love doing any kind of thing. I like serious, I like comedy, etc. But I always get that kind of, cranky, giving people a hard time kind of thing, the dry humor. So I think that would be the most like me.
That's awesome. What was a Marvel set like? Was it any different than any other set or
Well, it was funny because um, they had hired me to do kind of glorified extra work before I did that part. And I was walking around in the streets and I was in a prison outfit. So really was like an extra in like four different scenes doing four different things. And that felt like, oh gosh, I'm on a Marvel set. When I got hired to be the bartender, it felt more what I knew, which was being a principal in a scene and getting to do the acting. The cool part was like she smashes a glass and it was made out of sugar. So there are the cool little special effects that were happening that made it feel like, oh my gosh, this is Marvel. This is really cool.
Mm.
And so that part of it was really great for me. But other than that, it felt like a real set. And to be honest, I hadn't paid a whole lot of attention to the show before I got put on it. So, and it was on Netflix. And so you had to kind of, watch Netflix in order to get it. And I hadn't done that at the time when it was coming out. And so all of a sudden I was like, oh, wow. Oh, I should pay more attention to this. And then I got on the set. And like I said, all the special effects and things were really cool. And also, I loved Kristen Ritter. She was so nice to me and such a cool lady. And she said, "Oh, I'm so happy you're back." And so I felt like, oh, it's I've done a lot of those one and dones. And so
Mm.
to actually be invited back and have everybody know who you are and be glad you're there and write stuff specifically for you, that's what was so great about All My Children was
Mm.
every time I came back, I knew I was that character and I was going to be doing more things and got to expand. So that's how I felt with Jessica Jones, same kind of thing. I was like,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
you like me. You really like me as Sally.
I'm a huge Marvel nerd, so like that just totally like
Ah,
lit me up.
well, I'll tell you that one of my friends and from my acting class days is Marissa Tomei. So
Oh my gosh.
I once in a while get to hear some Marvel secrets that I can't, but she's
Oh,
very cool and she loves doing it, and she had a wonderful time with all that. So
to
yeah,
be a fly on the wall for Marvel Secrets. Holy smokes.
yeah, exactly. I feel the same way. I'm like, ooh, take me.
Uh, so I saw that you are an acting coach. What advice do you give to actors most?
Well, most of I would say the biggest part, which may seem obvious, but I find is hard for actors, is to be true to yourself. Know who you are. Know. what you have to offer. You know, it's like a lot of actors think they can do everything. And, you know, and I think I can do everything. You know what I mean? And when I was in college in summer stock, I got to be a 65-year-old woman and I was 25. Do you know what I mean? So in that particular case, I I could play. You know, I played a nun, an alcoholic nun, I played a 65-year-old woman, and I played a Spanish maid. But then I moved to New York and I was like, oh, well, they can get somebody to play the Spanish maid. They don't need to make me Spanish. My advice has always been to be the truest you that you can be, because that's why they've called you in the room. They don't, even if I'm a Kathy Bates type, or, you know, a Rosie O'Donnell type, or those kind of types that I get typed into, I'm not, they've picked me for what I have to offer. And so when I'm coaching somebody, I'm working on their individual performance. And sometimes I'll coach two or three people on the same role that they're going up for. I don't tell each other, but I'm working on different things with each person, because each actor has something different to bring to that role. And that's why that casting person's bringing them in. So that is my opinion, because everything that I've gotten has been because they liked me, you know, me personally when I walked in the room, as well as they liked my talent, not because I tried to be something else.
That's a very
That's
unique
awesome.
take. I haven't heard that before. That's very interesting.
Well, you know, I think that the business, there's so much typecasting, you know, and you get asked to be a certain thing. So then you go in the room trying to do it a certain way. But then I believe if you're looking at a script and you look at the keys in the script, you know, you're going to find those answers. Like with Marissa, I help her learn lines for projects. She's working on a film right now that she's making, not Marvel. And she's doing a movie, and she will say, I know what they cast me for, because they know what I can bring to it. But then she's looking for those secrets in that character to make that character different. And so it's the same thing with me with coaching. You know, what makes each actor unique? Why pick this actor over that actor? Why give both these actors an audition? Because they each have something different to offer.
Yeah, we always think of acting as like you're putting on the character. You're changing yourself to be what they're looking for. But actually I think what you're saying is like every individual brings their own color to it.
Correct. And I think that the
Yeah.
more you bring your own color to it, the richer and more interesting your character will be. Otherwise, it's like, you know, they talk about like don't put icing on cake batter. You know what I mean? You want to have a base. Obviously,
Hmm.
if I'm being picked, there's a certain type. Although when I did Silence of the Lambs audition, I went into a room and there were a bunch of models and me. And I was like, why am I here? I should not be here. And then it turned out that I was the one that should be here, because they wanted the
Mm.
real person, and all these
Hmm.
agents had heard, you know, taller, bigger women. And so they sent like 6 foot models, and they didn't want a
Mm.
model. They wanted somebody who looked like a real person. And so I got that job. And so I think it is about knowing yourself well enough, because also there's so much rejection in the business, you know, for all the
Hmm.
auditions. And I mean, I joked that I was going to write a book, and I was going to say, I really think you're wonderful, but because I've had so many auditions with big people where they've loved me and told me how great I am and put me on hold and told me I have a job, and then the job falls away or the part gets cut. You have to have a certain stability in yourself to be able to weather all that, you know, the
Hmm.
ups and downs of all that. So,
Uh, I saw that you did a credit in a video game, Grand Theft Auto. What
Oh,
was that like?
well, it was in the earlier days of those video games, and I got to be one of those people that wore one of those suits and had all those balls attached to them. And I never got to see like my character. I didn't have a specific character. They brought
Hmm.
me in to play a lot of different characters. So I guess I was a guy in some of them and a woman in others. And I had to run down the street and I had to go do shopping and they had us me doing all these tasks in a room. There were like
Hmm.
four or five other people, and we were all in our little suits with our little balls on us, and they were like reading us, so they'd tell us all like run across the room from here to here, and it felt like dog training, frankly. Because there was this group of us, and it's like, now go pretend like you're talking to a person and you'd go talk to the wall and you'd be talking to nobody, but they'd be reading your body language. And then they lifted us and made us different things, I guess, in the game. So I never really knew what I was. And like I said, I wasn't a specific character, but it was really fun to do that whole filming because I had never done anything like that before.
It's
So
awesome.
to be like an avatar was pretty cool for a couple days.
Awesome. And I know you said earlier that you're like the business is a whole other conversation, but um we, just based on your career, I mean, you've seen lots of like changes in the business and how things are done. Um, where do you think that it's going? Like where are we heading as far as like new ideas and
I would like to think that the aspect of real actors will continue, that, that dreaded AI won't get in the way. I've had a couple auditions where when I auditioned and I was getting called back, all of a sudden my management was saying to me, now they want you to sign this for AI. So they can not only use you as the main character, but then they can lift you out and use you into perpetuity as other characters. And I was like, no, 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 unless they're paying me for that. So I'm hoping that the AI thing doesn't do away with real actors and that
Mhm.
people will keep um, going to the real thing. I think that what's happening, what I see, is a certain renaissance in the independent films, the smaller
Mm.
budget films, like The Bride coming out now, and like I can't even think of the name that won last year. I think that I think that you either got the Marvels and the Star Wars and the bigger project things, or you have these independent films where directors really want to work with an actor and they want good actors. And so they're picking a story. And so I think that those are going to keep bleeding through this kind of copycat aspect of the business, is what I think. I don't know for sure. I obviously I'm sort of winging it like everybody else and waiting to see how it goes. I just know that I'm not I understand that AI is a good thing in many ways. I don't think that AI should be able to replace an actor. I mean, it's the same thing, like, not to get political, but there's problems at the moment of the White House using people's clips from their movies to advertise their actual war in real life. I mean, that feels like a Saturday Night Live skit in itself. Do you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
so I'm hoping that the the independent aspect, the real actors, the real directors will keep pushing their way through to keep making things happen.
Awesome. I hope so too.
Yeah. Keep hiring. Keep hiring and making
Yeah.
projects and not listen, I love that there's Marvel and I love that there are themes and things and and recurring projects. I think all that's great. I just don't don't do away with the smaller opportunities. Now, the other side of that coin, which you could say is a good thing, is anyone who has a phone thinks they can make a movie. So, the union's dealing with that aspect of things too, which
Mhm.
is, all the possibilities of all the films or a short film to turn into a long film. And I think that that's a good thing too, because it opens up a market. It's just there needs to be some semblance of I'm for the union, I'm for the overseeing, just helping there to be a
Mhm.
structure so that it's not, as they call it, the wild, wild west, which is what they call AI at this point. I mean, they're trying to hone it in
Yeah.
a little bit, but it's considered the wild west.
Mm,
And
for sure.
I'm not a cowgirl.
Uh, so what are you up to now? How can your fans find you right now?
How? Well, I have a website that's thechrismcginn.com. That worked out well. So I have the website and I do the Instagram and the I do Facebook, kind of the basics. And I have a couple projects of possibilities I'm waiting to see about. And in the meantime, like I said, I'm coaching actors for auditions and I'm working with like Marissa Tomei. I'm working with her on this, and she's doing a comedy. Well, yeah, it's got like an edgy comedy that she's filming, and I'm helping her with that. And so I'm around. I'm around and hoping and waiting for the next job, as they always are.
Hmm.
So I don't, I enjoy doing it and I hope to continue into perpetuity.
All right. Ashley, did you have any last things before my last question?
No, no.
All right, my last thing is there a charity that's dear to your heart that you'd like to shout out?
Oh, I like Best Friends Society for animals, for pets and adoptions and things like that. I have a tendency to do a lot of online advocacy for all the different things, the environment and, for hunger, etc. But Best Friends Society, I think as far as, saving the pets, I love them. I think they're great. I'm into any charity. I love that you asked that. And I
Mm.
just give your time if you don't have the money, give your advocacy if you don't have the money, that I think that's a great thing.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up, Chris? Anything we didn't get to?
No, I mean, thank you so much. This was great. It was such a blast. I love it. And I'm excited to see it, hear it, and hear everybody else, all my children layovers.
Well, thank you so much. This was absolutely wonderful. You've made our
Oh,
day.
well, thanks
Thank
you
you,
guys.
thank you.
Anytime. I love it. I love doing it, and anytime I can do anything or be helpful, feel free to ask.
Thank you so much.
You're
All
welcome,
right.
you
That is
guys. Have a
it.
great day.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.
For those of you doing our trivia challenge, you can win a $10 Amazon gift card. So either
Ooh.
put your answers in the comments or email to us, and after 1 week we will release the answers and reach out to you to get your contact information to send out the gift card.
All right.
Question number 1, who was Tad's first wife? How many long-lost daughters does Langley have? What job did Erica have when she was on the run for Kent Bogard's murder? Who was the first lesbian character on All My Children? Tad cheated on Liza with which member of her family? Palmer and Erica worked to uncover Lars's secret. What was it? How was Jenny killed? Who killed Zac Grayson? Greg, Jenny, Jesse, and Angie owned businesses together. You can name what the business was. Question 10. When Adam and Erica got married, people believed Adam was behaving erratically. What was his secret? Greg thought he was seeing Jenny's ghost after she died. What was actually happening? Why did Hillary marry Bob? Tad's best friend, Bob. Who killed Giles St of our favorite death dream? Adam gave Erica a job at a magazine. What was the magazine called? All right. Who killed Linda Warner? Well.
Bye.
Hey, you, that was fast.
Yeah, well, I got here as soon as I could. What's up?
Oh, my spirits, my entire life. Well, you remember that audition I had for the weather girl at WRCW?
Yeah, after Jillian and all that gibberish, how can I forget?
Well, by some act of God, my tape got sent to the affiliates, and a station in Duluth called today.
In Duluth?
In Duluth, Minnesota. Who cares? Duluth, London, Paris, it's heaven.
Well, what did they say?
They want me. I'm gonna be their weather girl.
Well, apparently you're not too happy about this, are you?
I'm gonna heat up those weather reports in that cold town. Salary's not great, but hey, my foot's in the door. And I'm gonna take classes at night to finish my degree and please my grandparents.
Kelsey, that's fantastic. Congratulations.
You know what's really bizarre is, how did my tape get there? Did you do it?
Me?
Come on, fess up.
Okay, fine, I'm guilty as charged, but Kelsey did such a good audition. I figured you deserved a chance.
You're the best.
Well, tell me, what's going on with Scott?
We've been emailing each other, and he promised to come and visit me when he gets back from Canada. We'll see. Speaking of matters of the heart, tell me about the Hoochie Princess.
Jillian, now when she gets her green card, I'm filing for the big D, divorce.
Oh, come on. I've seen the way the two of you ogle each other, and the way you freaked out when the holidays explosion. You must love her.
Sorry, don't know how. The old ticker must have been programmed with the wrong software down at the factory.
Typical male cop-out. Make a joke of it. Come on, give her a chance.
You don't even like Jillian.
Yeah, she bugs me, but I can see that she loves you. And if it works for you, go for it.
So Jillian told me she loved me. But we both know she's as shallow as a petri dish, right?
Yeah, but you think somebody as gorgeous and proud and vain as Jillian would admit something like that without meaning it? Without you saying it first? Risk rejection? I think she's the other way around. She's more the dumper, not the dumpy.
You really think so?
Yeah. When I told Scott that I loved him and he didn't say it back, I wanted the earth to open up and just swallow me. You know, in a weird way, I kind of feel sorry for her.
It's kind of hard to imagine somebody like Jillian being capable of those emotions. You know, I mean, I know she loves money, but another
Well,
human...
whatever. Write a letter to dear Aggie. I got a zillion things I got to do before I blow this town. Good luck with you and Jillian.
Well, thanks.
Give me a hug.
You take care.
I will.
Okay. Keep in touch.